Salutations viewers, my name is Game Dave and welcome back to one of my Legends of Runeterra patch notes review. This was released on February 7th, 2023, and that is patch notes 4.1.0. Now we have kind of like first phase of changes for competitive play, so there's no like big drops, there's no new section of the game. It's literally just focusing on what's already there, buffing and nerfing, and maybe adding a few new cards here and there, and just adjustments all around. So that's what it says here. Patch 4.1.0 is a new beta season, and they're rolling out first phase of changes to competitive play in Legends of Runeterra and balanced adjustments to new cards for us to experiment with. So card buffs, we have Alawi. She was a 1/6, now she's a 2/6. And I have noticed that her play rate was not as great, but hopefully giving her an extra bit of power will put her on the board. And her level 2 went from a 2/7 to a 3/7. Nagaka Boros is the change of the effect is now the card effect will now activate on summon as well as round start, which is actually really nice. I can't remember what even it was before just because I didn't play Alawi as much. Tentacle Smash was a 4 cost, now it's a 3 cost, so that got a buff because now it's cheaper to use. So they're just trying to get Alawi more in the play style. Jax, he didn't have a keyword, but now he has Overwhelm, which I think will be really good. I love this editor's note. Oh snap, now he has a real weapon, because Jax was my favorite top laner to play. He was just always so fun, or at least one of my favorite top laners. Roar of Akathia, it used to have no subtype and now it has Weapon Master. So now we just need more tools for Jack's arsenal, as they explain right here, because they to bump their favorite Weapon Master, which I agree with. Fish Fight used to have no subtype, now it's Weapon Master. And then Ornn used to be a 4/4, now he's a 5/5, and then his level 2 is a 5/5 to a 6/6. So now he'll be coming back into play, hopefully, with the +1/+1 buff that he's getting. Weaponsmith's Apprentice used to be 1/1, now it's 1/2. So hopefully this card will have a bit of a more viability in the early game with the extra health that they have. Favored Artisan used to be a 1/4, now it's a 2/3. This is more of an adjustment. It is definitely a buff, but it's like they took one away from the health and added it to the they took one away from the health and added to the power. So I think this is a pretty good adjustment for Favored Artisan. It's just one less health, but it does a bit more damage. Hearthblood Mender used to be a 5/5, now it's a 4/5, so that's a bit of a nerf to the power. But the description used to be play, forge an ally and heal it and your nexus for 3, but now it's play, forge an ally twice and heal it with your nexus 3. I think taking away just one power and to give it an extra forge is actually, well, an extra forge and healing it is actually really nice. So this is actually a very good buff on this Hearthblood Mender here. Shard of Reverence, or Rise, love it. It was when I'm played or activated, refill 2 spell mana, but now it's when I'm played or activated, refill your spell mana. So that's really fucking nice. So it's not just 2, it's all of it. That's a good buff for Shard of Reverence. Shadow Shift, we have 3 costs, now it's down to 2 costs, so that's a lot cheaper. Of course, that is a buff. Hate Spike used to be kill an ally to deal 2 to a unit, and now it's kill an ally to deal 3 to a unit. 1 more damage, so now this card is a lot more viable. Master Yi, his description used to be I've dealt 12 plus damage. Now it's changed to allied Master Yis have done 12 plus damage. So I'm curious about this one. They decided that Yi should keep his knowledge and level up progression from his previous lives. He's historically had trouble leveling up, and this should help make that more feasible, which I do think is good because it's not just you, it's the allied Master Yis altogether. Maokai used to be a 1/4, now a 2/4, now, and his level 2 is a 2/5, now a 3/5. Definitely had a nice little small bump to their friendly tree. I love the descriptions that they have here. Shyvana, her level 1 used to be, for her description, level up, I've seen dragon allies deal 12 plus damage, and now it's level up, dragons have dealt 16 plus damage this game. So she's no longer have to see it happen, but they did up the cost, and the amount of damage, which I think is actually a lot more feasible to get rather than seeing her dragon allies deal 12 plus damage, because that way you're able to actually incorporate other cards. So her level 2 used to be attack, gave me +2/+2 this round, and create a fleeting strafing strike in hands. But now it's attack, give me +2/+2 this round, and create a 2-cost fleeting strafing strike in hand, which I still think is a really good card. And this change is good all around for Shyvana. Tristana, level 1, used to be quick attack. Now it's quick attack plus impact. So now, because she was underperforming, as they said, but now involving impact will give her more damage dealt and make her more viable. Lysandra, level 1, used to be when I'm summoned a frozen thrall, and now it's when I'm summoned, summon a frozen thrall and advance it to 2. So they have said the frozen thrall nerf shattered their ice sorcerer's carefully laid plans. This gives her some minor acceleration for Thrall's game plan. I think that's a welcome change, because Lysandra did seem a little bit of lackluster. Kale, which she is the banner for this patch. I do always love the looks that Legend of Runeterra gives for the splash art rather than what League of Legends actually has. So Kale's change went from 6 costs to 5 costs. So cost buff, and then her change went from a 2/6 to a 1/5. So that is a bit of a nerf when it comes to her base stats. But her change in the description is when I'm summoned, grant other allies +1/+0. And now it's when I'm summoned, grant allies +1/+0. So that kind of is the same thing, but I do like how she got a bit of a buff with the cost, but she did get a bit of a nerf with her base stats. So they kind of reworked her quite a bit here, and hopefully they'll be able to summon her a lot easier and use her the way they need her to, because I haven't seen Kale too much in gameplay just yet. Lucian, he was so good when he came out. Lucian changed 2 costs to 1 cost. Okay, that's really cheap. So he used to be a 3/2. Now he's a 2/1. I do think this isn't a bad change for Lucian because he has the double attack. But he's, like they said, he's only seen sporadic play. So they're hoping to shift down the curve, which I think shifting down the curve for Lucian is a welcome change. Let's see how actually this works out with Lucian. Albus Pharaohs, his attack, what used to be deal 1, now his attack deals 3. So that is a nice buff to Albus. Weight of Judgment used to be a 4 cost, now it's a 3 cost, and the description changed from deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower, or now it's deal 2 to a champion or 4 to a follower. So they took back some of the damage for the follower. I haven't really seen this card be played, but I do know that this is really good for those removal type decks. So this is a welcome change, especially the cost and the lesser amount of damage to a follower. Dragon Collar used to be 6 costs, now it's 5 costs, better for curve. And now we're on to nerfs. We have a small nerf to pull Jinx back down to mortal levels. So Super Mega Death Rocket used to be deal 4 to the enemy nexus and 1 to all enemies. Now it's just deal 3 to the enemy nexus and 1 to all enemies. Yeah, Jinx decks I've always had trouble playing against, so I do welcome this change. Poro Cannon, 0 cost to 1 cost, so that's a nerf to Poro Cannon. So now it actually costs something. Quietus, kill a unit 2 power or less or destroy a unit's equipment. Now it's kill a unit with total health and power of 4 or less or destroy a unit's equipment. This is an interesting change for this card. But because of what does it say here? Quietus was intended to efficiently shut down inexpensive units, but also took out many low attack, high health champions as collateral damage, which definitely worked. And then this change aligns more closely with their intent. You're welcome, Braum, Galio, and Ilaoi, and now Maokai. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good change for Quietus, because now it's just 2 or less. Now it's 4, a total collective of 4 or less, or destroy a unit's equipment. Eye of Nakaboros used to be burst, now it's focus. So because of the changes of with Alawi's kit, they have to, of course, nerf one of her cards. So it's not as fast as it was before. The Shadow Reaper used to be 3 cultists, now equals 4 cultists, and that's a bit of a nerf, but I don't think it's going to change this card too much. Katarina used to be a 3-2, now a 2-2. She's seen a lot of play, like a shit ton of play, as Katarina does, so now she'll be a lot easier to kill with just 1 less damage that she outputs. We got some new cards called Soul Cleave. So Shadow Isles gets a new toy. It should find use in the fearable strategies or get multiple last breath or summon abilities out of single unit. And Castigate, which is tired of your champions getting blocked by those pesky followers. No more. Kill all followers. Both are slow cards. Soul Cleave, kill an ally to summon 2 ephemeral copies of it. Both of these cards are great. I like them. So we got Path of Champions adjustments. So we have buffs, Hymn of Valor, and then Reset, Guardian Angel, and Radiant Plate Armor. I'm not going to read all of these. I guess I'll read all of them. Might as well. So the change is when I'm summoned, create a redoubled Valor in hand. So now it's changed to when I'm summoned, create a redoubled Valor in hand. It costs 3. So that's good because now it's easier to play redoubled Valor. Reset is a common power. It used to be rarity from rare. Now it's the common. So shuffling cards into your deck doesn't feel strong enough to be rare. So they changed it to common, which is a good change. Guardian Angel used to be start adventures with +1 revive. Now it's start adventures with +1 revive. Last breath. If it's the first time I've died in this game, revive me with 1 health. I think that's really good for Guardian Angel because they didn't have the revive. That's what I think Guardian Angel is like. So I like this change. Because that's what I feel like it reflects in the game as well. In League of Legends, Radiant Plate Armor used to be +4/+4 but increase my cost by 2, but now it's +3/+3 but increase my cost by 1. Still effective, but lesser amount of cost, so it felt like +2 mana was too much, so I like the +1. It's a bit of a buff and a nerf at the same, just an adjustment, I would say. Spirit Stone, this item can appear on units that cost 5 or less. Now this item can only appear on units with 3 costs or less, but it used to be epic, now it's rare. What they said here is that this item had trouble finding its ideal use case, leading it to feel like an epic low roll. Changing its rarity to the max of cost of units to appear will help lift its spirits. I do think this is a welcome change. This is a good change for Spirit Stone. Special Delivery used to be a common item and now it's a unit. So it used to be attack, plant 3 poison puff caps on random cards in the enemy deck. Now it's attack, plant 5 poison puff caps on random cards in the enemy deck. I think that is fucking annoying. I hate it, but I think it's a good change. Good adjustment. I hate the puff caps. Standard Star Chart, common item, now is a spell. So it used to be epic, now it's a common. And apparently what they've described it as, this effect wasn't in the same ballpark as other epic items, so they reduced the rarity. These are pretty good buffs all around, especially Hymn of Valor and Guardian Angel I think are probably the best ones, especially with Guardian Angel having last breath. Reviving with 1 health gives you that little extra push. With the nerfs, we have Pickaxe. So they had this item can appear on any cost unit. Now it's this item can only appear on units with 2 costs or higher. So this stacking pickaxe was very effective, and now they want to just nerf it just to see if it's still going to be used as much. Studded leather was a common item. Now it's unit. It used to be this item can appear on any cost unit. Now it can only appear 2 costs or higher. The same thing with pickaxe. Both were effective in strategy, but still, even if it wasn't interesting, it still was utilized really well. Stalker's Blade was a rare relic. It changed when I'm summoned, I strike the strongest enemy. Now it's when I'm summoned, I strike the weakest enemy. That is quite a nerf, because now it's no longer attacking what is the most threatening on the board, but what is the least threatening on the board. They have new cards. So Norris T. So the effect is game start, playing a mysterious portal on me. Ooh, you'll never know who's coming over for tea time. They're definitely getting better with their funny little descriptions. They have Emperor's Favor, which is a rare item spell. The effect is create a random card from the Emperor's deck in hand, and it plays definitely for Azir because it's the Emperor's deck. Entrancing Lure, which is a common items unit. If you strike, draw 1. So this is pretty good for a one-off draw, and draw the one-off card when you strike. Poro Fluffed, the effect reduced my costs and stats to 1. I am a Poro. Always welcome for any Poro cards to be played in here. And then Chemtech Duplicator. This is a rare relic. So the effect is when you play a spell, if you have a 6+ mana gems, copy it with the same targets, which I think is a really clutch card, but it is a rare relic, so it makes sense as to why that effect is so nice. Competitive, the path kicks off the beta season for competitive 2023, and there's a lot of changes to come with this patch in the future. And in this article that they have, you can get a full rundown of it. I'm not going to go through it. You guys are more than welcome, but I will have this patch note obviously in the description. And then their 2023 roadmap also is going to be in this article that they have to show. We'll just take a little bit of a look-see at this roadmap that is available. So they have, they expect to follow rotation, more Legends Runeterra exclusive champions, new items and champions, relic balances, new competitive structure and prestige PvP awards, and new formats. They're working on upcoming updates and patches, ways to fix your achievements, chances to get legacy content and other offers, and monthly adventurers. And also they're looking for more ways to get feedback. So you guys can read more about that in the 2023 roadmap article. And of course, the infamous bug fixes at the end of each patch, which I will not read because this is something you guys can read on your own, because they are constantly making adjustments every single patch. I do think these cards updates were necessary, especially since a lot of champions got adjusted, and a lot of them are really good adjustments. And this is probably one of the more balanced patch notes that I've seen. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite buffs, nerfs, or new cards were included in this patch. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I highly appreciate your time as always. But please do not forget to subscribe and or follow not only to my YouTube, but to my Twitch. You guys know where my YouTube is at. You can find my Twitch at twitch.tv/thegamedame. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.